Hi folks, this is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report. On an earlier report, I talked about presentation, and I said, wait till later. I'm going to take a whole report and talk about that. So I want to do that now. Let's say you've got a favorite lure, and most lures can be used in a lot of different ways. And so I'm going to be very specific now and tell you about a lure that I've really come to like, that I've really come to count on, and it's probably become my favorite. That doesn't mean it would be your favorite, or it doesn't mean that it's actually better than all the other lures. It's just I've kind of made it better for me because of the presentations and the way I use it. And that lure it's produced by Z-Man, and it's called a baby goat. Oh, heaven name. Where they come up with the words that they use for these titles. I've often said it's a few guys sitting at a table at night over a bunch of beers and seeing what bizarre name they can come up with to name a bait. But anyway, it's called a baby goat. And what it is, it's a little 3-inch lure, 3-inch soft plastic that has kind of just a bug's type of body, just a plain body, and then it has 2 little arms that come out the back of it, and you have to separate those 2 arms. And so now I'm getting down to presentation. When I fish this lure, depending on the speed of the water that I'm fishing, the location of where the fish tend to be, are they in the middle? Are they out there in the middle where the current isn't too fast, but where it seems they're holding for some reason? Or are they going to be at the tail end of the pool where the current is much stronger? If they're in the middle, and I know they're there, then I will use it almost like live bait. I will cast this out, let it sink down. I use a tiny little jig head on it because the type of plastic they use in this floats. So I use a tiny little jig head that will take it down. When it hits the bottom, it's going to the soft plastic will go upward. In other words, it won't lay flat. It'll be buoyed upward because of the buoyancy of its floating nature. And the fish are going to think it's a crayfish, or they're going to think it's a bug or something they want to eat and they see on the bottom. And so I'll let it go down. I'll let it set there a second, then move it ever so slowly, let it set again. And usually you'll feel a tap when the fish hits it. You'll feel a tap. You want to set the hook immediately because they're going to try to swallow it. If I think those fish are at the tail end of the pool where the water's faster, then I'll throw my baby goat out there, and instead of letting it sink, I'll start to reel it in steady, keeping it where I can see those little tentacles, those little legs, whatever you want to call them at the back. They start paddling, and I'll see them going across the surface, making a little dimpling paddling, and it seems to attract the fish unbelievable. So this one bait becomes a bug, a centipede or something on the bottom, or a crayfish, or it becomes a minnow or a frog on the top with its little legs paddling. It can look like all kinds of things to the fish depending on how you present it. And that's why your presentation can make the difference of whether you get strikes or not. And it really can. I can be very specific again. On the last time I was out fishing, I was in a pool that held fish. I was reeling it in steady, and I got a couple fish, and they came up and hit it. But I knew as I looked out there, I could no longer see the bottom, and the water's pretty clear, so I knew it had dropped off. So what I did was I just started underhand, just lobbing the lure out there in front of me, maybe 10 feet to the side, and letting the current slowly take it down. And wow, I started catching fish after fish. Same pool, same lure, different presentation. Until next time, folks, this is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report.